Yo, what's good? It's your boy Big Steve, and tonight's another episode of Go Blue Uncut, where we're gonna be talking a little bit about the TCU matchup this weekend, get into a little injury update, man, and just a couple key things I think can get us this dub this weekend, man. So let's get into it. First off, injury update, man. So what I heard, Donovan Edwards had surgery right after the Big Ten championship game. And so there's no significance on did it get worse or better, but seeing a couple pictures online and checking things out, it like he's going to be playing with a smaller cast on his right hand. So I guess that's a good thing. If you remember that Ohio and Purdue game, he had a big cast on. So they said the cast is, a little smaller, so hopefully he should be able to run with his right hand. But, the way he's been running with his left hand, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's very important, man. If he's better, because he's been spectacular through the last couple games for us. So if he's going to be better than that, I'm all for it. And hopefully, what I really hope is it can help us out in the pass game. Because me personally, I believe Donovan Edwards is our best receiver as well. And I don't think none of these teams, whether it's TCU or Georgia, hopefully, but if so, even Ohio, I don't think they really got a chance to go against Donovan Edwards out as a receiver. And to me, he's probably the best receiver running back in the nation, hands down. Like, the dude go gets the ball. Even last year in the Georgia game, I remember him catching the deep ball, going back to the ball and getting it back then. So if he can somehow, with a smaller cast, able to, go out for a route or two, that can be big. So then we got Mike Morris. Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, was dealing with an ankle injury, missed the Purdue game, played like 1 or 2 snaps the Ohio game. And from what I'm hearing, he's supposed to be 100%. You never know until it's time to put the pads on, but they say he's practicing without no limitations right now. And him right now, that's big because this pass rush is going to be huge. It's the most important part of this game. Dealing with a quarterback who's not afraid to take hits, want to run the ball sometimes. If we can control him with a front 4 pass rush and get to him and hit him sometimes hard as we can, that's going to be big. So if Mike Morris is 100% healthy, and then you add in the defense, D lineman who's been there stepping up, which I think Braden McGregor, at the beginning of the year, he was getting snaps, kind of fell off a little bit on the depth chart. But then the last 2 games that Mike Moore's been out, Braden McGregor has probably been behind Mozzie and Jalen Harold, one of our top 3 D linemen. He had some big pass deflections that Big Ten championship game. And so if we can just, man, we got about 4 or 5 dudes on that defense that can just go after the quarterback. And so I'm very excited, man, to see this go be the game where it's like, because Stephen Bennett caught us off guard last year in the playoffs. I think him being able to be sneaky fast, to where you're not really game planning to stop him from running, but if you let up, he can get you for 20 yards. Even, trust me, I'm down here in Oklahoma, and I saw the way he scorched them on them big runs against them. So it's going to be big that we contain him. But yeah, so Mike Morris is hopefully 100%. And excuse me, man, I've been dealing with sinus issues all day. But yeah, then word is that Andrea Anthony and AJ Henning was not in pads at practice, which with I feel with Henning, he's our game changer as far as special teams. But Eldrin Anthony, I think, can be a real big part of a game plan. You know, I don't think teams are really planning for him because he hasn't. I think he only has 7 catches this year. But I feel he's the receiver, you know, that just like JJ threw the coach to Loveland, you could throw a jump ball to Eldrin Anthony. And I think that's something I feel that Michigan offense is going to look to do a little more in these playoffs as far as take those shots, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody's going to look to stop the run game. And if we can get in the red zone, throw it up there to them. And so that's going to be huge. So hopefully, you know, we know Eldrin Anthony been dealing with ankle issues. But the Henning thing kind of caught me off guard. Henning kind of caught me off guard. He's big in our reverse game. He's the ultimate swisher knife. He can, you know, I believe he's going to get a lot. If he's able to play, he's going to have some plays set up to where trick plays, reverses, and just him being on punt return, he's just that much of a good player. So hopefully he's okay, man. And, you know, I think our whole offensive line should be 100% in strength. Other than that, like I say, Donovan Edwards' hand, Mike Moore's ankle. You know, if Mike Moore's healthy, that's going to be dope because this is going to be the game where if we can get that pass rush to where we just have Max Duggan seeing ghosts out there and he just don't know because, like I said, being down here in Big 12 country, they're not used to seeing a defensive line who can get a pass rusher like us. And so if we can control the game with that pass rush and let our safeties kind of help out, because, you know, TCU has some big receivers. So if we can have our safeties kind of help out a little bit back there and control it with our front four, we should blow them out. So I'm looking forward. I think we're going to come out running the ball. I can see Donovan Edwards, if healthy, you know, getting somewhere between 25, 30 carries. I don't think TCU has the depth. They are one of the rare teams, you know, I would say TCU and probably Kansas State that has a little more bulkier defensive line than the average Big 12 school. But I don't think they're built to take on an offensive line we have with 35 carries. I think C.J. Stokes can be key. I know he's been demoted some, but with his speed, we got to find a way to get him in some type of, you know, 5 carries, if any. But right now, we can't hold back and say, well, we're going to save this for the national championship game and take TCU lightly. These dudes, like, they're ballers. That receiver, he's a big dude, man. In these type of games, TCU has nothing to lose. They playing with the church's money. So, like, unlike Michigan, they're going to come out there. Their game plan is to just get big plays. They're not going to say we're going to run the ball 30, 40 times like Michigan probably is. They're going to say we're going to do whatever we can to get a big play. And so what that means, our front four is going to have to get a massive pass rush. Put them in long distance. And even at long distance, they're not a dink and dunk type of team. He's looking to go deep anyway. So we're going to have to play all 3 downs, fundamental football. So, you know, I was just looking at a podcast the other day, and the guy brought up a point with Jim Harbaugh's bowl record, and he's, I believe, 1-6. And being that now, I believe the first after the Jabril, that 2016, I think bowl games haven't meant nothing until last year. And like everybody said, they were just happy to be there. There was no expectations to, hey, we can win a national championship. It's just, hey, let's take pictures and let's soak in the moment. But now I think these dudes are focused on, hey, we can win a national championship. And I think they will. Um, and the running game, as crazy as it sounds, I hate to make this comparison, but this running game kind of reminds me of that 2014 Ohio team, where after they played us, Zeke just went on a run. You know, he dominated Wisconsin for like 2-something, and went against the number one Alabama team that year and had about 170 on 20-some carries, and was a sophomore. And if you look at it, it's similar to what I've been saying this since he got here. We finally got us a Zeke. We finally got us a Jonathan Taylor, a guy where you can play good defense on this dude most of the whole game. But if you slip up one time, he can break it for 70 yards. And ain't too many running backs in this playoff where you have to worry about that. He can break this for 70 yards if you out of position just one time. So I'm hoping that we can kind of get that, you know, just like that team, they was dealing with a lot of injuries. A lot of players stepped up that the team probably wasn't, you know, Cordell Jones was the third string. And I bet you any kind of money that Alabama was not putting in so much focus on the third string and caught him off guard. And I feel with Donovan Edwards, that kind of was the case with him, because just like me, when Blake Corum went down, the season was over with for me. I'm not going to lie. When Blake Corum went down, that was probably one of the worst moments I remember having as a Michigan fan, because I was like, damn, they dangling in front of us. Y'all got a chance, and bam. But so if Donovan Edwards surprised me, he can surprise the world in these playoffs. You know, it's a different fan base from the Michigan-Ohio rivalry, Big Ten. When you in the playoffs, the world is watching. And it's going to be interesting because, like I said, if you're a big Michigan fan or a Big Ten fan, you kind of know Donovan Edwards as he going to be probably a Heisman candidate next year. But if you just a football fan in the world and you down in Texas, a TCU fan, you haven't really watched this dude play too much. And it's incredible to see a player run with the opposite hand. He's running on this side, and he's trying to avoid tackles with the ball in his hand and break for 70 yards, break for 80 yards. It gets some of the best athletes in the country. And so I feel like this year can kind of be that 2014 Ohio year, but better. I think, you know, J.J. McCarthy is the quarterback. It's not he's the third string nobody knew about. We knew about him as Michigan fans since he was a sophomore in high school. But the world knew if you watched Michigan play last year, you knew that J.J. was going to be the guy this year. And with that class, with him, then you got Junior Colston on the defense. This sophomore class is special. And then you got a couple freshmen and Will Johnson and Mason Graham, and it's going to be special. So, like I say, with the injury update, man, had surgery on his hand at the end of the Big Ten game, which was about, a month ago? Almost a month ago. So, hopefully, if they went to a smaller pad, hopefully that means he's getting better. And I don't want to be like most of these dudes where by the national championship game, he should be good to go without no, we got to beat TCU first. These dudes is no slouch, man. That dude was a Heisman candidate for a reason. that running back, when you don't just run for 1,400 yards, is a bump. And so we got to make them feel how we felt last year. Like, y'all just happy to be here. We on a mission. We on a mission. We finna show y'all why y'all gonna feel like, all right, we got a long way to go before we can beat them dudes. And I remember seeing that game last year thinking, even as a fan, I wasn't hurt because I just looked like, yo, the talent we had out there wasn't the talent to beat the dudes. The talent we had was on the bench. You know, I'll never forget, like, why are we doing a re-option with Cade McNamara? Nobody's biting on Cade McNamara keeping that ball. If you're a D lineman for Georgia and he keeps that ball, you hope he keeps that ball because now by the time you bite, you could bite on the running back, but he's so slow and they big dudes so athletic that you still got a chance to hawk this down. And you don't want to get hit by these dudes like that. So I think, you know, with JJ, them 50 or 60 yards he can get rushing is the deciding factor in the game. That crucial third down when it's 3rd and 7, and you got to worry about run, pass, or the running quarterback keeping it. Last year was just wherever that running back goes, I'm going. And I just remember thinking like, damn, I feel sorry for Hassan because every time he gets the ball, he got 5 dudes coming at him. So, you know, with this offensive line, I hope we just bully TCU's front four. I hope Donovan Edwards rush for 200 and we come out with that dominant factor. Like, yeah, because even if it's a close game, we need to send that statement like Georgia did to us. It's like y'all not on the same level. Our D line and offensive line is too power. We too deep. We can go 7 deep on the offensive line. We can go 7 deep on the defensive line. And I can't wait, man. So, so Donovan Edwards should be good to go. Mike Morris should be good to go. Andre Anthony, we don't know. AJ Hinton, don't know. He's a kind of a punk guy, so you really don't got to, you know, he's going to be good to go if he's ready to go. So, man, this Saturday, first game of the playoffs, let's get it. Go Blue.